Hello, it's Saturday the 13th of May. It's your Birmingham News Weekend magazine. It's the weekend, so I'm here with you for the next hour or so to take a look at what's going on around Birmingham, the West Midlands and beyond. Yes, hello, welcome to the Birmingham News Weekend magazine. Coming up on today's show, we'll be seeing what's up on this week's community notice board. Carl Jones will be bringing us his weekend business update, and we'll remind ourselves what's been going on around our area too. Then later on, Carl will be back with the film charts. Our intrepid reporters, Steve Green and Jason Forrest, as ever, will join us with some more interesting guests. Norman Bartlam, he's here to tell us what's so special about this month. And then Johnny Doom will be sharing his pick of the gigs. So it's all within the pages of this week's Weekend magazine. So then, time for the community notice board. It's the news that you send to us. And of course, remember, if there's something we could mention, then do get in touch, but please give us plenty of notice. We'll give you those all important details in a few minutes' time. Now first, Chris Tow has been in touch to tell us that he's relaunched a club that was originally open in October 1963. Then it was known as the New Inn. Today it's the Pretty Bricks on John Street in Walsall. Now it's being run exactly as it was back in the 60s. No microphones, no amplification for guitars, and nothing like that. They meet on the second Thursday of the month. There's no entrance fee. It runs from 8 until 11, and that's the Pretty Bricks on John Street in Walsall. Nice bit of a throwback there, we like that. Now, Birmingham City University is opening its doors to the public on Saturday the 10th of June for a one-of-a-kind hands-on experience. It's the Inspired Family Day. Promises to be an action-packed day of free and fun-filled activities and events for all ages. Now, it all takes place at BCU's City Centre campus and aims to introduce youngsters to the range of subjects on offer and showcase potential career options. So, highlights include drop-in, make and take sessions for under 10s, while young adults can have a go at reading the news. It's easy, really, in one of the university's TV studios. Now, families will be able to learn about photography and create a group portrait memento ahead of Father's Day, or even star in their very own sitcom. I like the sound of that. Now, meanwhile, youngsters can design their own HS2 train station for the city, and budding fashionistas can take part in a jewellery, textiles or embroidery workshop. So, it's the Inspired Family Day at Birmingham City University's Parkside Building and Millennium Point. It's on Saturday, 10th of June, and it's free. For more information, you can go and have a look at www.bcu.ac.uk/family-day. Now, since 2012, the Wildlife Trust for Birmingham and the Black Country has been working with partners and volunteers to create meadows and enhance woodlands across Birmingham and the Black Country as part of the Nature Improvement Area initiative spearheaded by the Wildlife Trust. The Esme Fairburn Foundation have funded the project for the last 2 years, and the Wildlife Trust has been busy creating space for nature sites, planting and restoring hedgerows, and working with more than 1,000 volunteers. Now they're looking for volunteers to help record the differences that have been made. Now they're asking people to send in recent pictures of the NIA project to the Trust so that they can monitor and project progress and the difference that they've made to help nature thrive. Pictures can be tweeted with the hashtag WildBrum or hashtag WildBlackCountry, or you can email to eva.p@bbcwildlife.org.uk, Birmingham Black Country Wildlife, yeah. But what you need to do is include a date and location. It's important there. Now you can find your local nature improvement area site at www.bbcwildlife.org.uk/NIA projects. Nice one. Go on, give it a go. Now, a scheme which encourages parents who've received help from Children's Services to champion the support available to other mums and dads has received a national award. The City of Wolverhampton Council's Parent Champion Scheme manager Rita Shimar was named as the Coordinator of the Year by the Family and Childcare Trust last month. The Parent Champion Scheme recruits local men and women to talk to other parents about their experiences of children's social care services. The volunteers work to build trust amongst families and inform parents about the various opportunities available to them, such as free childcare for 3 and 4-year-olds and eligible 2-year-olds. Now, if you'd like further details about volunteering as a parent champion, then you can call Rita Shimar, the award-winning Parent Champion Coordinator, on 07 464 981 888, or you can email parentchampions@wolverhampton.gov.uk. Now, they tell us that no experience is necessary, though. People must be able to commit to a minimum of 2 hours a week and enjoy interacting with others. Now, the Parents Champions programme is run nationally by the Family and Childcare Trust, so if you'd like more information about that, then you can also have a look at this website, which is www.familyandchildcaretrust.org. Now, fundraiser and mum of four Marie Bailey has just launched her 9th annual Lily's Ball event in aid of premature and sick baby charity Bliss. Lily's Ball is taking place at the Ramada Hotel in Sutton Coldfield on the 14th of October. There's a reception, 3-course meal, dancing, fun and games, plus a special auction and raffle to help raise funds for the charity during the night. Marie's daughter Lily was born 3 months early in 2006 and spent 9 weeks being cared for in hospital. It was then that Marie and her husband Richard were introduced to Bliss services through leaflets, a website and the support helpline. Lily is now a thriving 10-year-old and Marie has been fundraising for Bliss since 2008, raising nearly £75,000. So tickets for Lily's Ball are available now. You can email Marie Bailey at live.co.uk for more information. And if you'd like to find out more about the Bliss charity, then the helpline is 0808 801 0322 and the website is www.bliss.org.uk. So there we go, that's what we found pinned to this week's community notice board. If you know about something we could tell people about, then why not get in touch, but do give us at least a week's notice. And you can do so in a number of ways. You can email news@madeinbirmingham.tv, or on social media, just look us up, send us a message. We are at Made in Beeham TV, or just use the hashtag Birmingham News. And we'll have more for you at the same time next week.
Thanks very much, Lee. Well, we've come out and about for our business news this week, reporting from the International Centre in Telford, where they've been holding something called the Business Event, bringing together a whole host of different companies from across our region, talking about how they're exporting, expanding and accessing funding to make their businesses grow. So instead of me telling you about the local business news headlines this week, I thought it's far better to go into the hall and hear from some of the businesses themselves about what they're up to. Right, well, here we are now with Amy from the Marches Growth Hub in Shropshire, because of course there's one in Telford and Wrekin as well. Amy, tell me about your job role then.
Well, I'm an Economic Growth Coordinator for Shropshire Council. I'm based at the Marches Growth Hub in Shropshire, and we deliver business support activity across Shropshire. So serving any size business, any sector business, we just tend to look after everybody and help SMEs across the county.
So what's the background to Growth Hubs then? How long have they been in existence for?
Well, the Growth Hubs is a government initiative in line with the Business is Great campaign, and it all started a few years back, about 2 years back. I think the first Growth Hub came on board, and I believe that's Manchester, not entirely sure. But our Growth Hub in Marches started about 18 months ago. But our physical hub in Shropshire is just done its first anniversary, so we're about 13 months old now.
And have you found it then in the past 12 months? Have there been a particular kind of business that you've tended to deal with? Small, large, medium?
Well, Shropshire's got many priority sectors that we work with, but food and drink is one of our main sectors within Shropshire. That's one of our growing industries, so that's a sector that we do tend to like, and that's one of the sectors that find it possibly hard to access any funding that are going on, so it's good to engage with those businesses.
Now, Barbara Rainford from Strawberry Fields is with us now. Barbara, tell us a bit about your involvement in the event today.
Well, I'm absolutely delighted to be here today to see the Shropshire Chamber, the FSB, the Marches Growth Hub and the councils all together providing an event that's really good for all the businesses in the county. Shropshire is a massive county. There's a really diverse range of businesses here. The business breakfast, the networking, went extremely well.
It was intense, that, wasn't it? I mean, we were rushing around from one table to the next. Was it 10 tables in an hour and 7 minutes on each table? And you almost lose track of who you've met, but you meet so many people, don't you?
Yeah, there was a lot of people that I hadn't met before, which is really good. And we all rushed over to the water cooler at the end. It was really exhausting.
Now then, Tara from University Wolverhampton Racing, tell us about it.
So we're here today to showcase our Formula Renault car. It's part of a bigger project that the university are doing to enable the students to get hands-on experience whilst they're learning. It started in late 2014. We started off with a single-seater, which is the Formula Renault that you see behind us. It was in the Monoposto Championship and came fourth. We also had a Formula Student competition as well, which is run through the IMEC, where the students design and build their own race car. We now have moved slightly further forward, and we have a Dallara F308, which is run in the F3 Cup, currently leading the championship. We've just come back from Donington and we won 3 times out of 3, which is we're quite proud of.
Was this always the plan then when you started it, that this is how it would grow?
We did, to be honest, we wanted it to grow, but we didn't realise it would grow kind of at this level.
Thanks, Carl. Time for a quick break now. Carl will be back a bit later on in the show to take a look at this week's new films as well as the film charts. Plus, we'll be hearing from our intrepid reporter Steve Green. And as ever, we'll be catching up with what's been happening in our area during the past week or so. Stay with us. Hello and welcome back. Time now for a look at some of the stories we've been covering on Birmingham News recently. Birmingham Women's Hospital have been able to invest in new and potentially life-saving equipment for babies thanks to a large donation from the Birmingham Law Society. The 2 pieces of equipment are already in use in the neonatal unit at the hospital and are set to be hugely beneficial, as Erin Wiggins reports.
It would take something pretty special to make it onto this wall at Birmingham Women's Hospital, but the reason for the Law Society appearing is exactly that. The former president and the members donated over £40,000 for 2 key new pieces of equipment, both of which could ultimately save young lives.
I think we understand that these are difficult times, and often, like most other publicly funded service providers, hospitals are going to be struggling. And I think this is a wonderful example of the private commercial sector working in partnership with the public sector, where they can demonstrate that there's some sort of real legacy, some real help that they're able to provide. And I'm incredibly proud of the lawyers within Birmingham to be able to play a role in helping save lives.
The likes of abseiling were among the fundraising activities that allowed the Law Society to completely smash their initial £14,000 target and aid the hospital in investing in the latest technology.
One type of piece of equipment is what's called a resuscitaire, and this piece of equipment is used for babies who are just been born and who are needing some support with their breathing primarily. So we are immensely grateful to the Law Society for these donations, hugely grateful.
The second piece of equipment is a computerized monitor that allows a nurse to visibly see all of the readouts at once, including a baby's heart rate, from their desk without having to physically check on each child.
And let's say there is a baby who is in distress for whatever reason, this will alarm, so we wouldn't sitting here know where to go and which baby to look at, so it alerts us to that particular baby.
And just how important are donations, charitable donations for the hospital?
Very, very important. I think we are all aware that there are limited resources in the NHS, and therefore I think these charitable donations help us to buy the things that are on our wish list, which is all for the good of the babies and the families.
The care unit caters for the most vulnerable of young babies in the region, and now thanks to the Law Society, they will be in even safer hands. Erin Wiggins, Birmingham News.
Now, you might remember we mentioned this last week. Birmingham Ability Counts League are the only 7-a-side pan-disability football league in the country to play at all levels. With 400 registered players ranging from ages 11 to 60, the league is growing. And May the 14th will mark their 10,000th match taking place at Moseley Rugby Club. Well, the chairman of the club became involved after realising the lack of opportunities in football for his sons who have disabilities.
We want to get at least 2,000 people down to support these young men, young women, girls, boys, give them their big day of glory. The adulation that the professionals get, they deserve it. They play every week, every month, whatever down here. They need the praise that they get. And it's just, the 10,000th game is a massive thing. No one's done this throughout the whole country, and we're growing, and it's just that we're no longer funded by the FA, and we crave a sponsor or anybody wants to contribute to anything. That's one thing we're short of is money, but we've got commitment, and that's one thing. We'll never let this go. We just want to go with it and let it run. This is their 1 week in a month where they get the chance to mix with other people. Some of these people have got no other outlet in life, depending on the disability. This is their big day. So each time they come to us, we try and make it as pleasurable as possible. Many people go and think you can play around the park, but that doesn't enthuse. You get them involved in a team, they get camaraderie, and that's one thing we try and create is camaraderie.
Well, as we heard recently, Prince Philip is to step down from royal duties this autumn. The Duke of Edinburgh turns 96 in June, and the announcement from Buckingham Palace means he will still attend events already in the diary, but will not be accepting any new invitations. Now, one of his last visits to Birmingham was back in 2015, at the opening of the dental hospital. Tom Sorrow accompanied Prince Philip that day.
They were wonderful to have as guests on the day, very engaging, asking lots of questions and so on. One had to pinch oneself several times thinking about, how old perhaps they are and so on, that they were on their feet, they were chatting to us, they were chatting to staff, asking questions, really sharp and really on the ball. Great honour for us. And it was really good, as you say, that we could arrange for a range of staff to meet them. So there were demonstrations, clinical demonstrations of the sorts of things that we do at the dental hospital. They were able to meet a range of staff, from professors through to more junior staff, and in particular many of the students as well, the people in training at the dental hospital. So it was a great day for everyone, really was. One has this idea that a royal visit will just be people saying hello and how do you do and what do you do, and that's it. But right throughout their time with us, both the Queen and Prince Philip followed through with further questions, were interested in what they were seeing and what they were doing, and really, as I say, engaging with us. And then having the honour to sit next to him at lunch, finding how engaging he was just as a fellow human being. That was wonderful.
Now, something else we mentioned recently, a team in Acocks Green have developed a unique sculpture to celebrate their success in the Britain in Bloom competition, which they've entered every year since 2012, and they've achieved a gold rating for the last 2 years. We went along to the unveiling.
Sculpture means that people do care about what we do. The fact that they have dedicated a sculpture to the fact that we exist, basically. We feel that we've really done our part to make Acocks Green a better place. We've made an orchard, so obviously the fruit and the flowers on the sculpture represent the orchard. We've done some work in the churchyard, we've had the War Memorial repaved, we've done some work to welcome people into Acocks Green from the Alton end of the village, and we feel that we've really contributed to enhancing people's surroundings. The shopkeepers have been really good. They support us by giving us seeds and flowers and all sorts of gardening equipment. So we feel we have got everyone behind us. And I think everybody realises how important it is nowadays to make everywhere as attractive as possible. It's just it's such an honour, really. As I say, we've all had careers, and you think, oh well, I'm at the end now. I'm at the end of my working life. But we work just as hard here as maybe we did on our careers, and it's really worked out well.
Now, a Birmingham man has beaten off competition from the likes of Morocco and Bahrain to win an International National Express Award. Trevor Sale, who works in the maintenance department at National Express, has been honoured for his contribution in helping Warwickshire Bears wheelchair basketball team. Trevor told us how he feels about picking up his award.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, a big surprise. So obviously I won a local award and then got through to the national one where we went to London, and to win that, big surprise, because there was some, a lot of good people there on the day. They did amazing things as well, but it was just a big surprise. So, but humble, yeah, because I don't go in it for that. My job is to help the Bears, and that's But to be nominated and to win it, that's brilliant. What I do now is I just go along and help repair wheelchairs, whatever they want, whether it be a chair to be repaired, a cushion, a strap. So that's my role. I'll turn up on a Tuesday evening and it'll be puncture repairs, whatever they wanted to do. You know, if it means blowing up some footballs, that's my job. On match days, I'll be there setting up chairs for the supporters, and then from there, just getting the chairs ready for the game. It's nice from the company point of view as well, and NASA Express are really helpful as well. You know, they'll let me do things in my dinner break for them. So it's really nice.
Performing arts are a crucial element of local culture, but there is a feeling that they don't always represent the diversity of our communities. Well, now Birmingham's newest improvisation theatre, Jumprov, is on a mission to open up performance opportunities to people from every kind of background.
I think that generally what happens is, someone would look at the makeup of, for example, theatre, and just see it is generally white people. But then hopefully with what we're doing, adding representation and trying to diversify and just trying to reflect society. And we as a city, Birmingham, diversity is our greatest strength, and that's something that we should be celebrating. This is an empowering movement that we can tell the stories that we want to tell and play whoever we want to play. We want to tell stories that are not normally being told, and improvisational theatre is an art form that will allow this to happen.
The industry needs to be more open to everybody, and we are setting up a platform that people from non-traditional white backgrounds can get involved with improvisation. I think we don't get seen for certain things because they think that if you're not a traditional white middle class guy or girl, then you can't be necessarily the lead, you can't necessarily just be a normal girl. You've got to be sassy or sexy or strong or some other stereotypical word that they portray with those things.
Right, time to take a short break, and when we come back we'll be hearing from our intrepid reporter Steve Green, and then Carl Jones will return with his weekend look at the silver screen. I'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back to the programme. Carl Jones will be back again shortly for his regular weekend look at the silver screen. But first, our roving reporter, Steve Green, found himself in another nice mess this week. But both he and his special guest soon saw the funny side of it, whatever can it be.
Hi Lee. Right now, cinema screens are crammed with cartoon superheroes. But I reckon one great cinema superpower is the ability to make people laugh. And no one had that in greater measure than Stanley Laurel and Oliver Hardy. I'm here in Erdington to find out why Birmingham is at the very heart of Laurel and Hardy appreciation.
Well, here's another nice mess you've gotten me into.
John, you're the Grand Sheik of the Sons of the Desert tent for the Birmingham area, which is known as Laughing Gravy.
Correct. First of all, Steve, it's nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you. Welcome to my home. Yes, I am the Grand Sheik of the Laughing Gravy tent here in Birmingham.
Poor little Laughing Gravy.
We've been going 24 years, would you believe it?
Good Lord. Yeah. But obviously your enthusiasm for Laurel and Hardy goes back much further than that. Mm-hmm. When did you recall first seeing them on screen?
Probably when I was about 6 or 7. And I just remember seeing them, and they were just funnier than anybody else. I love Charlie Chaplin and Buster Keaton, Harold Lloyd, all these fantastic silent comedians. Well, I just thought Laurel and Hardy were funnier than anyone else. So it's always stuck with me how funny they are.
Well, there's a genuine affection between the two of them as well. I mean, there's a true love on screen, which of course makes the antics they get up to and the increasing frustration, usually on Ollie's part, even more amusing.
Yeah, it's true. Most people say it's nice to be in their company because here's two guys who wouldn't hurt a flea, would they? And yet they're getting all these sorts of scrapes and slapstick and comedy between them. It's just great.
And of course, I mean, they've been around now for nearly a century, and it's amazing to think that people are still rolling about the aisles at their antics.
Well, our tent, as we were talking earlier on, our tent, we meet on the first Thursday of the month, and we get about 100, 120, 130 people every single month. And there's not many places whole families can come along and watch the boys on the big films and just generally have a good laugh.
And children get in for free as well.
Children come in for free. The club we meet, the old Forget Me Not Club in Tyburn Road, it's now called the Crown Members Club. we've got an own gigantic screen, almost like a cinema-sized screen. And so the club holds about 200, and they say people come along, we watch the films, we all get up and sing the song at one point, We Are the Sons of the Desert, and we just generally have a good laugh. Nothing is taken seriously.
Of course, Laughing Gravy takes its title, as do all the tents, from one of their films.
That's very good, Steve.
Which, ironically, of course, it's actually Laughing Gravy is the way that stands in the film,
I mean,
which I only watched again quite recently.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
You're absolutely right. Every tent, there's about 40 odd tents in the country. So we took our name, Laughing Gravy, because it stars Charlie Hall.
This is more than I can stand.
And Charlie Hall was born in Birmingham, and he appeared in nearly 50 films with Laurel and Hardy.
I bet people don't realise there's that huge local link there.
Yeah. I mean, most people, when I talk about Laurel and Hardy, people say to me, what's that film they took the piano up the steps? Do you know, it was called The Music Box. They got an Oscar, a certificate. It wasn't a proper Oscar, but it was the best short film. And Charlie Hall's in that. He plays a postman who points them the way up the stairs.
Oh, right, that's Charlie.
And another thing, whenever I talk about Laurel and Hardy, they say, what's that film where they threw all them pies? You know, and it was called The Battle of the Century. They threw 3,000 real pies in that film. And I'm proud to say, a little Brummy from the Ward End district of Birmingham threw the very first pie. Isn't that a great thing? Is that a great honour, isn't it? Right, OK, so these are a pair of Stan Laurel socks. Aren't they horrible? And as you can see, he used to sleep in them. Because remember, you used to get little bits all over your socks. So, of course, the socks are nothing without
authenticity.
Exactly. So here is a letter written by John McCabe, the founder of the Sons of the Desert, here in Birmingham. And it just says, this is to affirm that the green pair of socks with S in the
brackets
side,
hideous.
Yes.
No, it doesn't actually.
Were owned and worn by Stan Laurel. And they were given to me by his widow, Ida Laurel, who was still alive in 1990, as an exhibition memorabilia. So there you go. There's a pair of Stan Laurel socks.
I can actually say I touched.
You can say
I've touched the sock that touched Stan Laurel.
So there
my
you
life's
go.
work is done. I mean, it is actually incredible to think that those films, even thinking about those films, makes you laugh.
It does. I mean, as I say, it's just wonderful. It's just wonderful to watch the films with a live audience. You know, it really is. I can only say, come along and watch them with us. You show a Laurel and Hardy film, and you're automatically going to you're in a good mood, aren't you? As soon as the boys walk on the screen, you feel life isn't that bad after all. There's always someone worse off than you, isn't there?
you couldn't ask for more than that, John.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for showing us your collection.
Cheers, Steve. Thank you, sir.
Oh, marvellous. Love Laurel and Hardy. Well, Steve will be talking to John again in a future show when they'll be discussing Stan Laurel's Birmingham roots, and the boys' final UK tour when they raised a pint at the Barton's Arms and then raised the roof at the Dudley Hippodrome. Oddly enough, my nan was there. Yeah, it's true. Anyway, next week, Steve has us news of a special competition for the region's musicians and filmmakers, so watch out for that.
Hello and welcome to, this is good, isn't it? It's a new What's On Quickie.
Oh, do you like quick quickie?
Or quiche.
What's on quiche?
What's on quiche?
We'll be doing cooking next.
Oh, I can do it. Well, you're a good cook.
Yeah.
I can throw together a few things.
Yeah.
I must tell you actually about my new Nigella recipe.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. Not now, but it's fantastic. To do mackerel and pasta. It is superb. I'll tell you that when we're having a couple
Is
later.
that fresh mackerel or smoked mackerel?
Smoked mackerel. It's very nice. I'll tell you that when we're out. Anyway.
I caught fresh mackerel down in Dorset. You never tasted.
You can't catch smoked mackerel.
You've never tasted.
Not since a smoking ban in pubs, you know. Those mackerels they've given all that up now. You know, you only catch fresh mackerel.
You never tasted mackerel like when it comes straight out the sea onto the barbecue. Oh,
as good as it.
Unbelievable.
You see, we're better talking about that than we are what's going on in and around Birmingham and the West Midlands. Right. We were there a couple of weeks ago. We were in the bandstand at Botanical Gardens, and on the very bandstand where we sat, and there's a plaque there now, evidently.
Yes.
There's a moist patch anyway. The City of Birmingham Brass Band, they're going to be performing on Monday as part of the Bands in the Garden series, and that starts Monday afternoon, 2 o'clock.
And I believe there's a barbecue with a crafty butcher.
Really?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you like a big sausage, the crafty butcher's going to be there.
Now then, Pint of Science Festival on Tuesday. I love the idea of this. It presents symphonies of the spheres at the Millennium Point, giving you the opportunity to learn all about the latest discoveries in physics with a pint of beer.
Very good.
I mean, you know, that's a good idea, isn't it?
I think it's a brilliant idea.
You know,
especially as we're here at the old joint stock, and not as we've had a pint yet.
Not yet.
Honestly,
no,
Vicar.
But we are upstairs in the theatre, and it's absolutely brilliant.
It's lovely.
I'm going to talk about it in a minute.
Okay.
Go on, carry on.
It's my turn now.
Yeah.
At the Rep until the 27th, the Who's Tommy is the multi-award-winning epic rock musical written by Pete Townsend, which is fantastic. And good job I read this before, because otherwise you got, Who's Tommy? No, the Who's Tommy. Yeah, I don't know who Tommy is. With a cast of 22 performers and musicians, this is the story of the pinball playing boy, which has entertained and intrigued audiences for more than 40 years. I can remember, couldn't wait for the movie to come out and rush to go and see it.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And good old Alton playing the pinball in those massive boots, and great movie.
Yeah. Now on Thursday, right here in the old Joint Stock Theatre, Richard Carpenter's, hang on, where is it gone? Richard Carpenter, he's on the wall somewhere. No, it's here, Here we go. Richard Carpenter's Close to You is an epic concert of catchy tunes from the smiliest piano player in pop rock history.
Oh yeah.
But it's a bittersweet dark comedy, full to the brim with classic Carpenter's hits, telling the hilariously tragic tale of the ultimate control freak. It's a parody, so don't think it's not Richard Carpenter really, it's a parody like that. But if birds suddenly appear,
there we go.
Anyway, that's part of the Cabaret Festival, which is happening at the Old Joint Stock over the next few days.
And if you're not sure where the Old Joint Stock is, just in case you're coming from outside of Birmingham and the West Midlands.
People do.
They do. It's just off Colmore Row, and for those of a certain age, the back of Rackhams.
Yeah.
Madam.
Yeah.
Here we go. Now, there's more comedy on Friday at the Barclaycard Arena with Mickey Flanagan. Brilliant. I love him.
Yeah.
And here at the Old Joint Stock Theatre, comedian Tracy Collins is Tina Turner.
Yeah.
The tea lady, I think Mrs. Overall meets Beyonce. That's
yeah.
And the tortured Audrey Hartburn. That's here at the Old Joint Stock.
Fantastic.
Mickey Flanagan, I love. It's just that one always when he says, I know when I'm out or I'm out. Because if I'm out, I've got my slippers on. But if I'm going out, I've got my shoes on. Love it.
Oh, right. And okay, so finally, gig of the week. We're just going to have one gig of the week in this spot, and it has to be. Do you remember Natalie Imbruglia?
Or Natalie Imbruglia?
Yeah.
With the soft G.
Well, soft something.
Mrs. GJ doesn't like a soft G.
Anyway, here we go. That's my gig of the week. Fantastic. She's at the O2 Institute on Wednesday. Get down there. That's us. Back to you, Lee. And we're going to be here every weekend with Lee on his programme.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Now, time for a break. Don't go anywhere though, because we've got an appointment with Jason in the Mill Bar. And Norman will be with us to see what's so special about this week. I'll see you in a few minutes. And welcome back to the final part of today's programme. Time for a quick pick of the gigs now. Here's Johnny Doom.
Right, it's me, Johnny Doom, again with my gig roundup. Don't forget you can catch me on Amped on Made in Birmingham. That's Tuesdays 10 o'clock, Wednesdays 10:30 and Fridays 10:30. Anyway, go and see Adam Ant. Loved him when I was growing up. 12th and 13th of May at the Symphony Hall, great venue. Also, While She Sleeps, doing very well at the moment. That's 12th of May also. That's at the Asylum. I'm down at that. And Iron Maiden, The Legends, 21st of May. That's at the Barclaycard Arena. You can probably hear them now playing The Wicker Man. But yeah, go and see those gigs and I'll see you next week.
And Johnny will be back with Amped on Tuesdays at 10 and again on Wednesdays, Fridays and Sundays at 10:30. Right, let's pop to the Milk Bar now with Jason Forrest. Now, the Milk Bar is a place where local performers drop in and tell Jason all about what they're up to. And next weekend sees the Unity Cup taking place at the Molineux in Wolverhampton. Jason found out all about the match from the management of the two teams taking part.
On the 14th of May, there's a charity match taking place at Molineux. It's Black Country Fusion versus Wolves Pride, and I have some of the teams and their management team with me now. From Black Country Fusion, we have Sky. Hello.
Hello, you alright?
I'm good, and we'll come to you and talk about the match in a moment or two. Okay. But first of all, we'll introduce Liam and Danny from the Wolves Pride side. So hello to you.
Hello. Hello.
Right, okay, so we'll start off with you, Sky. Tell us a bit about how this came about.
So I was called into Paycare, who are Black Country Fusion's sponsors, and they asked me to organise an event, because obviously the sponsors Wolves numbers on the shirt, and they've got the pitch on Sunday the 14th of May at 5 p.m, and they asked me to organise a charity match for the Haven. So I approached Wolves Pride to join us in this game. I thought it would be good to have two grassroots Sunday football teams to be part of this event. I think Sundays are very much underrated, and I think we've got good quality of players, and I think we can put on a good football match.
And you're playing for Pride as well, which is the important thing. So you want to be the team that's going to win out of this in Wolverhampton, don't you?
Yeah.
And obviously going well in the league for both sides at the moment. You're sort of ticking along quite nicely, which is good. So good to be part of it, and all of your team looking forward to it.
Yeah, we can't wait. I mean, at the minute we're undefeated. I just got to get up in it. We're undefeated in our league, so we're looking good at the minute, and we're doing well. So. I'm a very proud chairperson at the moment.
So a very confident Black Country Fusion. So on to Wolves Pride, and tell us a bit about your team.
It's our first season, Sunday morning team. Sky obviously plays on the afternoons. We play from Wolverhampton United, Prestwood Road West. Like I say, we've got in some new players this season. We're going well in the league. We've reached the semi-final, 2 semi-finals in fact, a quarter-final. And it's going really well. We're looking forward to obviously the big event at Molineux, in aid of charity for the Haven. So
yeah, I mean, the Haven's a very deserving cause, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And it's going to be good to be lining up. And Liam, how is it looking as far as the team preparing for this? Is there anything special they're doing?
Yeah, it's just well, obviously they're playing at Molineux. You know, obviously people are going to prepare a little bit more than what they normally do. But yeah, everything's going fine at the minute. The players are looking forward to it. Yeah.
And when it's raising money for charity as well, obviously you maybe get a slightly different audience, and for both teams it's important to get people coming along to see you play when you're playing in your league matches. Yeah. And Danny, when you've got a crowd down there, it's getting that sort of support, isn't it? And it's making sure you've got people following actually grassroots football.
Yeah, well, like I say, we've got friends and family really interested in the event coming up. We're starting to put it out there on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and everyone's getting really excited about it, including ourselves and Sky. I think we're going to really put on a really good show for anyone who comes down and show, like Sky said, that grassroots football has got some good players. I mean, we've both got good players in both the teams. Some play at semi-pro standard, and we're really excited for it. I mean, it's one of them. It's an opportunity that you don't normally get at grassroots level. So to have the opportunity to play on such a big stage at Molineux, me being a Wolves fan, I've played a good standard football throughout my career. It's always been a dream to play at Molineux. So to do it with my friends and family to come down, and it's a dream really. So it doesn't get any better. And for charity is obviously the main cause. So it's an all winner. You know. So
and Sky's already pointed out unbeaten. How do you think it's going to go for the Pride boys? Are they going to be able to do it?
Well, we'll have to see on the day. It's more reason to come down and watch and see what both teams are about. Like I say,
but have you been following their matches to see their play style, so you can work it out? Because that's the thing, isn't it? When you get teams from different leagues, different competitions, they don't know what to expect from each other, and that's why we see what we see in the FA Cup.
Yeah, well, basically we play at the same ground as what they play at. So obviously we play in the morning and they play in the afternoon. So obviously when we've finished, and basically we'll stay behind, and obviously we'll watch them and give them, you know, obviously the support.
I think they've probably been sending a few scouts down, checking out our formation and trying to guess the starting lineup. But there's good banter going on between both teams, and it's nice because like Liam pointed, we play at the same ground. We're getting to know, you know, both players and teams, and you know, it's good. The banter's already started, like so.
And there's going to be some special stuff taking place. You've got the Ball Boys, haven't you? Where do they come from?
We've got Billbrook North under 9s, and they're an amazing youth team. So they're going to be Ball Boys on the day. They're really, really excited to be part of it, and they're also going to do a penalty shootout at half time. So I mean, they're really excited to get on the Molineux pitch and to just, you know, just show their potential, because they're our stars of the future. You know, and hopefully they'll be joining, you know, Wolves Pride, Black Country Fusion in the future, and you know, their management are really excited to be part of it as well.
Yeah, and could be picked up by any team anywhere once you're on the sort of stage that brings, comes your Sunday morning football.
Definitely, you know.
Or afternoons.
Yeah, we're afternoon. But you know, it's all about providing for children, you know, especially in the future, because otherwise we're going to have no grassroots football. They are our future. So it's really, it was important to me to have them part of the event. And obviously Ryan, who's the manager of Billbrook Under 9s, is also a Fusion player. So when he approached me, I mean, I didn't have to think twice about it just to get him involved. So it's amazing.
Worth doing. So how do people get hold of tickets?
We'll be selling tickets, both teams respectively will be selling tickets when they're printed very, very soon.
So just look out for the Facebook pages for both Black Country Fusion and Wolverhampton Pride.
Yes, so we're BC Fusion on Facebook and Twitter, look on there. And also Haven will be doing selling them through their website as well.
And the website for you guys?
It's Wolves Pride, and you can follow us on Facebook or Twitter.
Instagram.
And Instagram as well, so photos a lot. Have you got Instagram?
No, I haven't got
See, there's
Instagram.
competition. There's competition there. So who can get the most Instagram followers? We'll see how that works out later. I think.
It's Instagram.
Yeah, well, you can work on it, Sky. Okay, that'll be good. Get your tickets for that one. It's 5 o'clock on Sunday, the 14th of May, here at Molineux. What you got to do is come down. I'm sure they'll be able to get tickets on the day, as well as picking them up from both websites of both teams. But congratulations for being selected by Paycare, and look forward to the game. Should be great.
Thank you. We look forward to playing at the Molineux.
Thanks, Jason. We'll have more from the Milk Bar at the same time next week. Remember, it's on the radio and it's a podcast. So if you want to find out more, have a look at www.themilkbarpodcast.com. Now, you might have seen this recently in the news, but we thought we'd have another look. Many viewers will have witnessed some strange sights whilst travelling around the West Midlands. But imagine the surprise of finding a 2.5-foot tall wallaby strolling down a Walsall promenade on a Sunday afternoon. Well, that's just the situation one resident found herself in, so she promptly called the RSPCA, who thankfully had an officer nearby. Investigations revealed that the animal had actually escaped from a nearby farm, and at 17 years old with failing eyesight, who could blame him for craving one last adventure? Oh, how lovely. Right then, let's take a quirky but interesting trip back in time now with everyone's favourite historian. It's our very own Norman Bartlam.
May 1937 saw the coronation of Their Majesties King George VI and Queen Elizabeth. The country was awash with street parties, but no doubt makeshift tables shook, paper plates were dislodged, fancy cakes crumbled and jellies wobbled as two noisy contraptions rattled by on the streets of Birmingham. These were the official illuminated tramcar and illuminated omnibus, prepared as a royal tribute on behalf of the 17,416 loyal tramway and omnibus workers in the city. The general colour scheme was purple and gold, with decorations in national colours. That's to say, a piece of purple cloth, albeit a big one, had been slung over the side of a normal tram. White lights were used to spell out "Long live our King and Queen," and they ran on certain routes for a whole week. That's the trams, of course, not the royal couple. So there was a chance to have your jolly and ice cream and not miss the omnibus, although it would have been difficult to miss them, as the bus had 1,000 lamps and the tramcar had 2,500 of them.
Thank you, Norman. And if you'd like Norman to take a look at something in history, why don't you get in touch? Give him some details so he can look it up, and you can email news@madeinbirmingham.tv. So then, time to close the pages of the Birmingham News Weekend magazine for Saturday. Now, I'll be here at the same time tomorrow, and then there's more news for Birmingham and the West Midlands every weekday with Mike at 6 and 9 in the evenings. So that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you back here at the same time tomorrow. Ciao a bit.